Hey, if you run your own business, I can pretty much guess the one word you use all the time to describe your life: busy. But what if that constant feeling of being on the go isn't actually a sign of success, but maybe a warning sign? In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why you feel so busy, and more importantly, how you can find the perfect balance for your business. Sound familiar? I mean, we've all had this exact conversation, haven't we? It's like the official handshake for founders. Busy has kind of become this badge of honor, this thing we say to mean we're successful. But the real story behind that word? It's often way more complicated and honestly, a lot more stressful. So, we have to ask, what does busy really mean? Are you busy in a good way, where you're coping well and you feel totally energized? Or are you busy in a bad way, where you're constantly falling behind and just feeling stressed out? Figuring that out, well, that changes everything. It's all about understanding the difference between good busy and bad busy. At its heart, this whole busy feeling, it's basically a constant tug of war between two really powerful forces. On one side, you've got your capacity. That's what you and your business can actually do. And on the other side, you've got demand from your customers. Getting that balance right, that is the ultimate challenge. And this slide, man, it just nails the two ditches you can fall into. If you have way too much capacity, you are literally paying for people and equipment just to sit around doing nothing. It's this quiet, cash-burning problem. But too little capacity? Oh, that's just pure chaos. You're stressed, your team is stressed, things start to go wrong, and you end up letting down the very clients you worked so hard to get in the first place. Okay, so to really get a grip on this, picture two lines on a graph. The first line is your available capacity. That's the total amount of work you can possibly handle. The second line is your used capacity. That's the actual work your clients are giving you. The entire story of your business, from day one to right now, is written in the space between those two lines. And you know what? That story, it usually plays out in four pretty distinct stages. It's a journey pretty much every founder goes on, from those exciting early days all the way to building a company that's meant to last. So let's walk through them. And I'm betting you'll know exactly which stage you're in right now. All right, stage one. This is where we all start, right? The honeymoon phase. Your available capacity is way, way higher than the work you actually have. You've got time, you've got energy, and your one and only focus is getting out there and winning that next client. Yeah, this stage feels amazing. You're doing it all yourself, but it feels totally manageable. It's exciting, you're making money, you're building something from scratch. But, and this is a big but, look at that last point. This is your golden opportunity to start creating standard processes. A little bit of planning now is going to save you a world of hurt later on. Trust me on that one. And here it is. This is where that pain starts. Welcome to stage two. All that success you had has finally caught up with you, and now it's starting to hurt. See how those lines have crossed? The demand from your clients has officially blown past what you're able to deliver. That nice, comfy gap from stage one is gone, and now you have a stressful shortage. Excitement turns into anxiety real quick. They call this the stress zone, and it's a really, really dangerous place for your business to be. Sure, some of your loyal clients might stick around and wait, but a lot of them won't. They'll just go somewhere else, and you might never get them back. Even worse, you risk getting what the source material brilliantly calls a flaky jakey label. You know, that reputation for being unreliable. So let's just be super clear about what's happening here. You are letting people down. Your reputation, which you worked so hard to build, is on the line. And you are actively losing business just because you can't keep up. This is a huge turning point. You either fix this now or you risk the whole thing falling apart. The question isn't, how do I get more work anymore? The big question now is, how in the world do I get control of this thing before it blows up? The good news is, there is a way out. Okay, let's talk solutions, because this isn't about just grinding harder. It's about working smarter. There are 4 strategic moves you can make to get out of the stress of stage 2 and start building a business that can actually scale. This is how you take back the wheel. So here are your 4 main plays. The first 2 are about managing demand. You can just say no more often, a really powerful short-term fix. Or you can get strategic and maybe fire your lowest value clients to make room for better ones. The other 2 are about increasing your supply. You can either make small improvements to get more efficient, or you can make a big, game-changing leap. This slide breaks down those 2 powerful ways to grow. You've got incremental change, which is all about efficiency, those little 1% tweaks that cut out waste and help you do things faster. Then you've got a step change. This is a big, bold move, like hiring your first employee or buying a serious piece of new software. Both work, they just solve the problem on totally different scales. Now, if you want to make those incremental changes really count, your secret weapon is one word: repeatability. This is where all that process work from stage one pays off. It means having a playbook for everything: the standard questions you ask new clients, the standard spreadsheets you use for your projects, the standard way you price your work. When you stop reinventing the wheel every single time, you magically create more time, and that means more capacity. Okay, so once you start putting these fixes in place, you finally get to graduate from just, surviving. You enter this whole new phase where you're consciously and strategically shaping your business for the long haul. You're not just reacting anymore, you are actively building. So let's just map out that whole journey again. You start in stage one with plenty of capacity. Then you hit the painful shortage in stage two. Then you use those solutions we talked about to enter stage three, where you're actively building your systems. The whole goal is to get to stage four, strengthening. That's the sweet spot, where your capacity is stable, it's flexible, and it's ready for anything. And this right here, this is the game changer. In stage four, you, the owner, finally get to stop doing all the day-to-day delivery work. Your job now is to work on the business, not just in it. You become the architect of a system that can handle the ups and downs of demand without even breaking a sweat. So, what is the right size for your business? Well, the source material gives this absolutely brilliant analogy. Think about an airline. Are you building an airline that only has first class, with tons of legroom and personal attention? Or are you building one that's all about economy class, focused on volume and efficiency? Both are totally valid business models, but you have to build your capacity to serve the customers you choose. Now, to help you pinpoint what to fix first, there's this really powerful idea from management called the theory of constraints. It sounds complicated, but it's actually super simple. It just says that in any system, doesn't matter if you're making a cup of coffee or building a skyscraper, there is always at least one bottleneck, one single slowest part that sets the speed for the entire system. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important question for you to answer. The real key to escaping that busy trap isn't to just work harder. It's to look at your entire business, from finding a client to delivering the final product, and ask yourself this one simple question: where is my bottleneck? What is the slowest part of my system? Because the answer to that question, that's where you'll find your path forward.